Technology is ever moving forward. We always get the latest and greatest when it comes to these consoles, but there's also going to be times when we get announcements like these or leaks like these where it looks like we're going to be seeing some very interesting next-gen consoles or mid-gen consoles sooner than we possibly thought. And this comes way of Tom Henderson, who said in a new conference, TCL Technology have said that a new Xbox Series S and X and PlayStation 5 Pro are coming in 2023 or 2024. I'm going to dive into this because I think there's a lot to talk about, and I also think a lot of people are going to be very interested in what I have to say. But keep in mind, even with the little bit of information that we have pointing to this and the actual photos, we have to keep it in perspective and say, you know what, listen, these are things that can happen at any time, and gamers should probably still take them with a grain of salt. Yes, this does look like it's legit, at least from a perspective of these pictures, but these pictures can easily be, I guess, sort of faked and things like that. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see exactly what happens in the long run with this situation. So I know a lot of people might feel a certain kind of way. Honestly, with consoles being so hard to come by in the first place, you might wonder what would be the point of trying to make them even harder to come by making them, you know, kind of even less available. So according to this, a PlayStation 5 Pro and an Xbox Series S and X, TCL mentions the consoles at a conference in Poland. TCL today presented its latest TV, and journalists were able to see some surprising news during the event. The company's representative mentioned different generations of consoles, and the PS5 Pro and Xbox Series S and X appeared at the presentation. From time to time, they inform our community about rumors about the PlayStation 5 Pro and the new Xbox. Details usually come from informants, but this time, quite unexpectedly, the mention of consoles appeared at the official TCL presentation in Poland. One journalist actually was on the spot and willingly prepared photos that confirm that. According to TCL's, in the years 2023 and 2024, we're going to witness the so-called half generation of consoles, or 9.5, in which the PlayStation 5 Pro will appear and the new Xbox Series X and S. The manufacturer mentions that the devices would provide gameplay in 60 to 120 frames per second at a resolution of 2160p and offer the ability to play the production in 8K. The presentation even mentioned the latest AMD GPU, which is AMD Radeon RX 7700 XT. We can assume that these are only TLCs planned, but the situation is puzzling for one reason. 2023 has already appeared in several rumors and technology whistleblower websites who are convinced that Sony and Microsoft are already developing new consoles. It's a very interesting situation indeed. But the thing is, maybe this isn't inside information or anything like that. Maybe they're just kind of thinking that this is something that will happen instead of something that is, destined to happen. For me personally, I think it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for them to come out and announce these types of consoles anytime soon. And again, especially since they're so new and so hard to find as it is, would it make that much sense? We haven't really gotten anything game-wise from Microsoft especially, but even on the PlayStation side, there's not a whole lot that we can point to and say, hey, this is worthwhile picking up a PlayStation 5 for. In fact, pretty much most things on the PlayStation 5 have been cross-generation, including God of War Ragnarok, which still hasn't released, Horizon Forbidden West, Gran Turismo 7. There's multiple games that they've released that, are current gen and last gen. So, again, how will people react to another console, a half-step console, in a year from now, right? I mean, what would be the point of getting a PlayStation 5 at launch if by the time the games that are going to be current gen only come out, they have another console that's going to play it even better at that point? And the same question goes for Xbox, right? So Xbox, which you might even be more upset about. So I'm like of the kind of mind that the Xbox One X was a great console but lacked content. So that came out in 2017. They discontinue it 2 years later. We get a new console with the Xbox Series X and S, but they really don't come out with much outside of Forza and a Halo game. And now you have to go another full year without a big AAA exclusive. And then when they do possibly come out with another exclusive, the potential is there for it to be a raw deal for fans, because let's just say it looks like we could possibly end up having to buy another console for, you know, for whatever reason, to help play these games at the best they already are. And when you start listing 8K and when you start listing 120 frames, I mean, isn't that the selling point of what we have right now? I feel like that's exactly what we have. So I don't understand the need for that, especially when they're doing different things to kind of take away the need for like the native 4K and things like that, which is incredibly taxing on a GPU. So I don't know what to make of this. Could it be true? Yeah, but out of all companies, TCL having the information on this, I'm not sure how that would actually work out. And I think that, you know, it's going to be very fun to see what fans' reactions are to this. I mean, are you going to rush out and try to get a PS5 right now if you know for sure next year sometime a PS5 Pro is going to come out? You know, I think it could actually hamper sales more than help sales, and I'm not sure what the idea behind it is, especially since it doesn't seem like Microsoft or Sony are really fighting against PCs anymore, but rather working with PCs. It looks like Sony wants to put out some kind of PSN on PC and release more of their games on PC. Microsoft already does that, so I don't quite understand. Again, we haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg of what these consoles can do, and that's not to say that I wouldn't personally go buy them, because I like to have the latest things, but I could see how it would maybe be off-putting to some people who are, you know, going out there spending $500 every couple of years for these things. I think it's a little bit unfortunate, to say the least. And I also think that, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how the fans react and how people would react if this is to be true. Again, we don't know 100% that this is true. This could just be TCL guessing. You know, of all companies, I don't think they work very closely with Microsoft or Sony, but, you know, they could just be taking a shot in the dark here, trying to understand what's going on. And again, I think that this is going to be something that fans are going to have to kind of come to have the expectations for this type of thing. Like, it's something that us as fans are getting more and more used to, but should we get used to that? I think that's going to be the bigger question going forward, and that's really hard to say. You know, that's going to be on each individual. How do you feel about there being a new piece of hardware every few years? I mean, again, these things are getting pricey, and people are gonna, like, you know, I'm not going to say that there's going to be some kind of situation where the industry crashes again, but I am saying that it is starting to get a little bit interesting the way that these things kind of come up, and people are going to have different reactions to them. Like, we never even got ideas on how many Xbox One X's or PS4 Pros sold. I hardly ever saw PS4 Pros or Xbox One X's in stores, so who knows what the actual rate is of that. So I don't really know. We'll have to see what happens. I do hope that, you know, they think wisely. I would hate to see there to be negative issues and things like that in the where these things are concerned. You know, I want people to enjoy consoles, and what's the point of getting a console for $550 if, you know, 2 years later you got to get another one? And if all games from Xbox and PlayStation are pretty much on PC, why not just build a PC at that point? I think they're kind of pricing themselves out of existence, and you know, I don't know. It's just, I'm not a fan of it. With that being said, let me know what you guys think. If you enjoy the content, please like the video. It helps the video to be seen and the channel to grow. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up, and hey, maybe consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. I'm Crap Gamer. This has been Crap Gamer Reviews, your home of gaming news, opinions, reviews, and much more. Thanks for watching. Crap Gamer out.